As we head up alongside the stream, we pass a place where I found PETA camouflaged in the weeds and mud. One good thing, between the downpour and the flooded banks, all signs of his hiding place have been wiped out. That means that, if need be, we can come back to our cave. Otherwise, I wouldn't risk it with Cato after us. The boulders diminished to rocks that eventually turned to pebbles, and then to my relief, we're back on pine needles and the gentle incline of the forest floor. For the first time, I realize we have a problem. Navigating the rocky terrain with a bad leg, well, you're naturally going to make some noise. But even on the smooth bed of needles, PETA is loud, and I mean loud, loud, as if he's stomping his feet or something. I turn and look at him. What? He asks. You've got to move more quietly, I say. Forget about Cato. You're chasing off every rabbit in a 10-mile radius. Really? He says. Sorry, I didn't know. So we start up again, and he's a tiny bit better, but even with only one working ear, he's making me jump. Can you take your boots off? I suggest. Here? He asks in disbelief, as if I'd asked him to walk barefoot on hot coals or something. I have to remind myself that he's still not used to the woods, that it's the scary, forbidden place beyond the fences of District 12. I think of Gale with his velvet tread. It's eerie how little sound he makes, even when the leaves have fallen, and it's a challenge to move at all without chasing off the game. I feel certain he's laughing back home. Yes, I say patiently, I will too. That way we'll both be quieter, like I was making any noise. So we both strip off our boots and socks, and while there's some improvement, I could swear he's making an effort to snap every branch we encounter. Needless to say, although it takes several hours to reach my old camp with Rue, I've shot nothing. If the stream would settle down, fish might be an option, but the current is still too strong. As we stop to rest and drink water, I try to work out a solution. Ideally, I dump PETA now with some simple root gathering chore and go hunt, but then he'd be left with only a knife to defend himself against Cato's spears and superior strength. So what I'd really like is to try and conceal him somewhere safe, then go hunt and come back and collect him. But I have a feeling his ego isn't going to go for that suggestion. Katniss, he says, we need to split up. I know I'm chasing away the game. Only because your legs hurt, I say generously, because really, you can tell that's only a small part of the problem. I know, he says, so why don't you go on? Show me some plants to gather, and that way we'll both be useful. Not if Cato comes and kills you. I tried to say it in a nice way, but it still sounds like I think he's a weakling. Surprisingly, he just laughs. Look, I can handle Cato. I fought him before, didn't I? Yeah, and that turned out great. You ended up dying in a mud bank. That's what I want to say, but I can't. He did save my life by taking on Cato after all. I try another tactic. What if you climbed up in a tree and acted as a lookout while I hunted? I say, trying to make it sound like a very important work. What if you show me what's edible around here and go get us some meat? He says, mimicking my tone. Just don't go far in case you need help. I sigh and show him some roots to dig. We do need food, no question. One apple, 2 rolls, and a blob of cheese the size of a plum won't last long. I'll just go for a short distance and hope Cato is a long way off. I teach him a bird whistle, not a melody like Rue's, but a simple two-note whistle, which we can use to communicate that we're all right. Fortunately, he's good at this. Leaving him with the pack, I head off. I feel like I'm 11 again, tethered not to the safety of the fence, but to PETA, allowing myself 20, maybe 30 yards of hunting space. Away from him, though, the woods come alive with animal sounds. Reassured by his periodic whistles, I allow myself to drift farther away, and soon have 2 rabbits and a fat squirrel to show for it. I decide it's enough. I can set snares and maybe get some fish. With PETA's roots, this will be enough for now. As I travel the short distance back, I realize we haven't exchanged signals in a while. When my whistle receives no response, I run. In no time, I find the pack, a neat pile of roots beside it. The sheet of plastic has been laid on the ground where the sun can reach the single layer of berries that covers it. But where is he? PETA! I call out in a panic. PETA! I turn to the rustle of brush and almost send an arrow through him. Fortunately, I pull my bow at the last second and it sticks in an oak trunk to his left. He jumps back, flinging a handful of berries into the foliage. My fear comes out of anger. What are you doing? You're supposed to be here, not running around in the woods. I found some berries down by the stream, he says, clearly confused by my outburst. I whistled. Why didn't you whistle back? I snap at him. I didn't hear. The water's too loud, I guess, he says. He crosses and puts his hands on my shoulders. That's when I feel that I'm trembling.